same perspective on our daily charts first and foremost. There was HD that we looked at yesterday. We're going to go ES 0614. We'll just take a look at pure structure analysis. Again, market pressing against recent highs, struggling here as we contract or compress even further. So we see this nice pullback right here, followed by a retest of the previous swing highs here. So anything again around 1900s when we're going to be looking for short entries. We're also going to be looking at potential puts. So we'd buy puts on the SPY. Now I want you to note right now that recent price action, you see this beautiful doji candle right here at the highs, right against that 1900. Then we go gap lower. We make a lower low with a lower close. Gap lower, lower low, lower close. And then this bar right here was an inside day, and it was completely contained by the prior session. Then we broke out above, we come back, and now we're trading completely inside the prior session. So intraday today, any test of that 1882 handle, S&P 500, A, if I'm long, I'm going to look for profit targets. B, if I'm flat, I could look for intraday sell signals. So I'm gathering information from my higher time frame, daily bar, and then I want to look at that price point, the key price point, KPP, to determine a qualified sell signal. Current lows of the session right here, 66. So plus 10 is 76, plus another 682. The market rallies to this 82.83, will be up about 16 points from the lows of the session. I want you to also note the low-to-low trend line right here, and again, it's very easy to see range contraction. Here's the high-to-high trend line right here. So we've had this impulse move that took us to this new structure high. We did get a higher close right here, highest close ever, pulled back down, and now look at the contraction. High-to-high trend line extension, low-to-low trend line extension. Currently inside bar. So some compression, possible breakout. We'll see if we can go to new structure highs. If we roll lower, then we'll look for an immediate test of the 1850 handle, which is about 100% ATR below our current highs of the day. All right, let's go take a look. Dow Jones has been a little stronger throughout. We're holding about 50% of the last swing right there in the S&P. All right, now we went right to my 1414. We did this analysis about 2 weeks ago. The 1414 projection held, same doji candle, same lower low, same lower close, same gap lower. Here, the Dow rolled over farther yesterday. So yesterday's Dow low took out the previous 7 or 8 sessions. We got the lower close. We're still building the inside candle right here. Dow Jones, we just traded to the 16.4s, had an aggressive sell signal. They popped up, took it out. Any trade right here, 16.470s to 500, and we'll be looking to buy puts based on this big honker right there. Okay, so again, lower low, lower close. Not a lot else going on there. I want to take a look at TF. Mini Russell, where are you, baby? Yeah, Russell's rolled over. So this is exactly the trade that we want to see. Now again, those of you that are watching the video here that trade options or are swing traders, this is the perfect time right here to buy the IWM. So again, we've talked a little bit about cluster trades. The cluster trade's a really powerful setup. It uses my internal strength indicator. You've got it on your charts. You can see right here when these guys cluster. So the turning point typically is going to set up first. That's bar number 1. And then after that turning point sets up, the second bar right here, bar number 2, I get the black tip. So that's a 2-bar cluster. Turning point first, followed by the black tip. That black tip will typically occur on the same candle where we get the color rotation. We go from black candles bearish to white candles bullish. So this is a cluster 2 buy with my bull rotation on my candles. And you can see if we buy the open of the next bar, that's 1108 in the TF. and then take it off right here on the close below. That's a 72-point winner right there, or 70 points, which is $7,000 a contract. And obviously a beautiful directional move for IWM if we bought calls on the IWM as well. Love it when it pulls back. We get this nice directional move. I also like to see an extreme reading on relative strength at that point. Okay, so again, it's the 2-bar cluster. Those of you that are new or on trial, just go back in and look at this. We call it a cluster 2 or cluster 3. So in that turning point and black tip cluster, side by side, 1 bar then bar 2, or within 3 bars. If it occurred on this candle right here, that'd be a cluster 3. That's where we're looking for significant turning points. Now, they don't always literally catch the bottoms like this and then rally. You can see right here we had a turning point and a black tip. This, however, is counter trend. And you see that we didn't get black candles. This is trading with trend. The trend defined right here by your Big Mo. Okay, so Big Mo shows that we're in rally mode. So trading with the underlying direction of the market versus the counter trend sell right here. So again, we'll look at these. This is what the automated trading system does, the cluster trader. It identifies just that black tip. And then we have a filter in there that allows us to trade with the trend, or we can take every trade or trade every turn, TET. Okay, so that's the signal. Here it is again right here. There's my turning point followed immediately by the black tip. You can see right here, if we buy the open of the next bar after the white, and again, for those of you that trade futures intraday, buy the open, 1139, you see that we had an 11-point move that day, topped out, and then rolled back over. Let's tighten this up. And that puts us right back where we are right now. Okay, so pretty significant price point right here. You see that 1090 holding in the mini Russell. If 1090 gives way, then we've got plenty of room to run to the sell side. See the significance of this level right here. So if we crop these wicks, come back over here, there's our 1090 handle. We've been below it, the lowest low right here, 73. So this would produce about a 20-point bid zone for a swing trade in the mini Russell. Okay, so if we pull back into this area right here, anywhere between 70s and 90s, we'd be looking for the long entries, swing trade the mini Russell, but it's going to require about a 20-point stop, 15-point stop, so 1,500 to 2,000 per contract. But if we catch it and our swing lows hold below this last swing right here, February of 2014, then our minimum expectation would be a rally back here, which produces 60 points of profit. So 20 points of risk is a unit of risk. 60 points of reward is 3 times that. So it's a 1-to-3 risk-reward ratio. And then obviously we could rally back to the 1200 handle right here. So low risk, long entries for swing trades right here. Just a retest of the current highs produces 4 to 5 times the unit of risk. All right, let's pull this guy back up. Cluster 2, cluster 3. I did a video that went out early this morning. I talked a little bit about our SOS signal. We'll go through that a little bit more as we move into the session. About 5 minutes to the open. Let's check DSR levels here. Now, Dow Jones right here broke back down into our lows of this DSR level here. Okay, so previous swing lows right here in the Dow holding 16 threes. We've popped back up, and right now we're just setting in the midpoint of this last leg down. We did go from this swing high. We made a new structure low. We broke this DSR level. Okay, so now we've got a lower high forming right there. So this 16.4 handle right here is a real nice low-risk short entry. Expectation, we've gone from swing high to new structure low, followed by the lower high. We're at a 50% retracement. Previous structure support, anticipated resistance. And then if this guy duplicates itself here, our 1-to-1 measured move, or ABCD, projects or would terminate down into the 16,200. So 200 points of opportunity. Now, the thing I normally do, gang, is I look at what if we just retest our current lows. That produces about 100 points or 90 points of opportunity here. Okay, so again, if we see a qualified sell signal right here, symmetrical double top, It might come from a 1,000 tick chart. We might get a turning point black tip on the hourly chart. I already know risk reward. I could put a 40-point stop in. If it hits my target 1, I've made 2 times my stop. Thus, I've produced a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. Okay? Now, you see that we don't have any DSR levels here. Buy this test of the DSR. Buy this. So here's long entry winner, long entry winner, long entry winner, long entry loss. So 3 winners and a loser for 75% accurate. Once we break below, now we get a momentum trade. If we get a bear rotation back to black candles here, then we can look for it to drive lower. Note my RSI here is just about overbought at the bottom of the chart. Okay, so Dow Jones, let's watch for 16 fours, swing trade down to 16 threes, and then extended targets 16 twos. Let's go look at NASDAQ. All right, our 26.18 trade played out really nicely. That's what the focus of my video that I did yesterday. So remember, this is so critical. Those of you that are brand new on trial, new owners, yesterday we discussed the overbought bearish divergence SOS4 sell. Then the break to the new structure low. We then did our fib analysis. We talked about the 26.18, sell partial at the 618, partial at the 786. This is why you have to respect market structure. I talked about look left. Why is look left important? Because if you didn't respect structure looking left, which is the top of my DSR level, and you put your stop just above here, you got stopped out right there and took a 10 to 15 point loss instead of looking left, recognizing the swing high over here, putting your stops up here at 36.26 half, and just that additional 3 to 4 points of risk, 60 to 100 bucks, gave you the opportunity to stay short. We talked about a retest of this low for target 1. We did our Fibonacci analysis when I ran my retracement from here to identify entries. I also projected the 1618 extension. You see we rolled right down to the 1618 fib extension at 35.85, producing around 35 points of opportunity on the second half. So a little bit more difficult to see, gang, again, because it's a time-based chart. But the bottom line is overbought, bearish divergence, new structure low, sell the 618, sell add at the 786, stops above swing highs, retest of the low for target 1, and then either a 127, 1618 for target 2. Okay, so that is the perfect sequence right there. SOS4 that turns into a 26.18 sell. Now, right here, we're in no man's land on our hourly chart. So let's come back here. Let's tighten this back up. Right-click, drawing tools, remove everything. Now we've got a single chart with a couple of indicators looking purely at price action. So any retest of 36.20, low-risk short entries, buy the puts. If we break above, close above, we're in the momentum session. Okay? Other than that, all the way down here, 35.40, which is the DSR level. You see this guy's still plotting at the bottom of the chart because we don't have a new DSR level building between here, and you can see that we don't have, the levels have not been broken. So now finally I want to take a look at crude oil. Crude oil popped a little bit, and we're on the July contract, 07-14, rolls on the 20th. We looked at the 26.18 session right here, talked about bearish divergence. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so from here, we made the new structure lows, sell the 26.18. We pulled back down here, did not quite hit the target. So we just looked at a beautiful winner in the NASDAQ. This is a double top sell winner, 26.18 sell. We didn't quite get down to the profit target right here. So this would have been out on stop as we pop to these new structure highs and off now in a directional move. So we've got no DSR level showing up here. As we look left, you see the last level that we had, 103.60s. So I'm going to drop this in just to remind me that's a significant swing high structure. We'll expand the chart right here. And now we're in more of a directional play until we rally to that level or we see a new qualified signal. Okay, and then finally, let's take a quick look at TF. I'll watch this through the session as well. The Russell 2000. So 115, 11/15. Yeah, and then here, DSR level sets right here. It's present when this touch occurs. Sell them, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And now let's see if we get a move. Again, it's going to require 13 points, gang, for us to get back into that 115 handle. So right now you can see as a swing trader, my hourly chart, I'm in no man's land, right? I can't take action until we get back into this level, back down to this level, unless I'm trading momentum. All right, let's move these out. Let's note where we're opening for the session. Top left-hand side, crude oil, 610 tick chart. We'll gain some higher time frame perspective there. Top right side, 150 tick chart in crude oil. Bottom right, mini Russell, 300 tick. Took a look at a couple of the signals in the afternoon session. The afternoon session, there was a $350 winner here, $400 winner here, and then beautiful directional move in the afternoon trade. So we'll look a little bit more at those later in the day. Yeah, I had a trader that was asking about just simply trading the color rotation. So I set that up on the chart last night. Okay, let's see. Aha. Yeah, Brian just said today Fed Day. So, and then BKU asked about times to trade. So, gang, time of day, okay? This is critical, especially on the future side. BK's a Forex trader with us as well. So, Forex, most of our clients trade 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central. Basically trading the New York day session, okay? On the future side, we typically look at 8 a.m. to 10 crude, okay? On the auto trade, Gary showed me some numbers yesterday. He's starting his auto trader on crude oil at 8:20. So waiting for that first 15 minutes. If there's a gap higher or lower prior to the 8 a.m. open, then typically we get some movement to fill that gap. And then just ran it for 2 hours. Okay? Normal index, ES, S&P, or I'm sorry, YMTF, NQ, 830 to 1030 or 11. Okay? Now again, typically what I found is that during lunch, so from 11 Central to about 12:30 Central, ranges contract and then lower volume. So if I'm a counter trend trader, I might want to stick around during lunch because markets will tend to go sideways. You watch the pits in Chicago and there's an exodus off the floor after they've made some money. They go out, grab a bite to eat, do whatever, come back in, maybe trade the afternoon session. Okay? So then from 12:45, I used to come back in, open the live room back up, 12:45 to 2:45, and that afternoon session we basically just sat there and watch paint dry. And then, you know, maybe 3 to 4 or 5 days a week, you would get some decent directional movement. But most of our clients are just focused right there. 8 to 10:30, 11:30. If you trade 8 a.m. on the ES, you're fine with volume. If you trade it in the Dow Jones, maybe crude oil is going to be good, but the Dow Jones, mini Russell, again, most of you are trading no greater than 10 contracts at a time, so your volume should be fine across the board. Yeah, now see the Dow Jones right here, gang? We took out the 420s. So let's take a look right here. We tested our DSR level right here at 4:30 in the morning. We pulled all the way back down. And again, I want you to note right here, the most basic setup. So if you like to trade with trend, your Big Mo's rallying and sloping up. It's green, you know, whatever color you've chosen for your bullish sentiment. But right there is your turning point, black tip, white bar. So that is your cluster 2 buy. Okay, so as it retested this with an overbought condition, that's an aggressive sell because of the time between tests. Over 3 hours evaporated. So I took the short aggressively here, stopped out right there. So you can see we blew right through the 16,400s and now 50 points higher right there. Okay, so we go new structure high here. The big Mo turns green, bullish, upward slant. We pull back to a higher low, testing our previous structure support. And then at that point, boom, turning point, black tip fire, cluster 2. My RSI at the bottom of the chart is oversold and gone pecan. Worst case fill right here, 16,370. Retest to this high right here, pays the 15 to 18 pip or tick target, and then let the balance run. Yeah, now these fib dots are extremely close. So let's come in here and take a look. We'll set the 2618s for, okay, so these right here are helping with the color rotation. So I can set these out to 2.618. Then come here, we'll apply the fib dots again, and this time we'll go 0.618. And then color bars, and we'll go here. White on bullish. Now we've got our color rotation and the 2618 fib dots right there for trail stops. Yeah, so for example, in the Dow Jones, most traders do the fib dots -2 or 5 points. So if the fib dots are plotting at 406, subtract 2 to 5 points, place your stop right there. So again, right through the 400s, straight north, 70 points, great directional move. Now the mini Russell down here, bottom right-hand side, I'm on a 300 tick chart. We'll pop this over to the right. Bull continuation pattern, nice directional move. Crude oil 150 tick. You see that we've taken out that DSR level, still kind of rolling sideways there. 0320s to 12 or 0295, so only a 30-cent trading range. Let's see what's going on top left. We'll go look at NASDAQ since this guy's banging its head against resistance. Yeah, build a new chart. There's the Russell. Let's go ES 0614. All right, so let's pull this guy up top left real quickly. Okay, so here's the S&P 500. Now again, I want you to note, I've got a DSR resistance level, 1884s. The DSR is not plotting anymore, okay? So we can still pull this over. I've got a swing major right here, and then again, pull in your horizontal line, look left. See the structure resistance? I drop that horizontal line in, look left right here, previous support. Once broken, look at the overbought bearish divergence. That's the same time that we looked at that NASDAQ sell with the 2618. So right here, 1883 to 84 is on the S&P 500 for a potential sell signal. Now again, I don't want to just sell the first test. A, I can look for a qualified signal here. B, I can define the 1883 level and then look for a qualified intraday trade on a 1,000 tick chart as an example. So higher time frame analysis leads to a trading time frame signal.